Hello, people of the internet. Welcome to another episode. Today we are not going to work on something new, but we are going to finish pull requests and features that we worked on the last week. Because the last week we did so many things together and submitted so many pull requests. I got so much feedback from that. We need to iterate on all of them and hopefully get them to an approvable state. So I picked some already, but I think we cannot make it in an hour, all of them. But if yes, I can find another ones because there is so many of them and there was feedback on all of those. So first, I think we should work on the chunked uploads that we worked on last week. This works. There are just some comments from Pavel that we should take a look at. And also we ourselves put some to-dos into the code to explain the stuff. So I think we should work on this first. Then there was a command for our image builder pull request that we did. It was requested to use this for tags, like slices of key value, basically list of, in Python terms, a list of tuples of key and value. I think they call it slices in Go. So it was requested to do that, but then there was a discussion that maybe using a custom struct would be better. So we will change the list of tuples into struct. And also we have some feedback on our OpenStack pull request. So I mean image builder pull request, but that supports upload to OpenStack. So these are what I want to work on today. Hopefully more. So let's take a look. Chunked uploads. Okay. We should jump into the Copper repository and we can remove this file. By the way, I submitted a pull request that Git ignores it, so we won't have to do that in the future. Check out main. We should probably pull new changes. And this is in the Pulp chunked uploads branch. So git checkout Pulp chunked uploads. Okay. Yeah, I will definitely need to censor this. Okay. So what are we looking at? This is both Copper files that I worked on last week, but off recording. Anyway, we want to work on the upload. So if we search, maybe let's go to Git and let's take a look at the commit. So it was in the storage file, request file, and pulp file. So let's open those, but like this, so we can change them. Same for the storage, and let's rotate them. My mind somehow I want the storage class on the left and pulp on the right. So what was the comments? We have too many positional arguments. Honestly, I don't give a damn. So we will ignore this one. but in pilot ignore command. So this is pulp 225. 225. This is strange. Is it? I'm in the storage class 225. Sorry. Yep, correct. So does this seem like a too many arguments for you? Like, especially when almost all of them is keyword arguments with default values, so they can be skipped or and something like that. I mean, this is good to me. Anyway, it complains about too many positional arguments. Too many. And maybe go even further. Too many instance? No. Too many positional arguments. This is the one. By the way, I hope you don't hear the washing machine from my laundry room. It will be probably too annoying. Hopefully you cannot hear that. Let me check if the door is closed. Yep, it is. Nothing I can do about that. Sorry. So, we want to ignore this error. What about next? Missing function docstring. Okay, that totally makes sense. So this is pulp 369. 369. Okay. So create content for a given artifact. Maybe let's just upload this. Upload a file using the split a file into chunks, upload them, and reassemble them on the pulp side. C, and we should probably link the Pulp API there. So like the maybe without a C. So like this. Okay, what's next? I already see some to-dos here, so let's cover those. So the documentation is here. We can take a look at it. So if you can remember from the last video, basically what we need to do is to send an initial post request with the file size, saying we want to upload this file. We will get back a special pulp URL that we can send the chunks to. Okay, so we send the chunks. This is optional. Once all the chunks are uploaded, we send a final post request to reassemble the chunks together. This creates a task and so on. And once the task is finished, we have the file. We need to send the SHA there so that we can be sure we upload it correctly. So these are the steps. So we will send an initial request saying that we want to upload that we want to chunk upload a file of a given size, right? Now, this is all of this, basically even this, basically. Now, upload the chunks. This is good enough. Upload the chunks. Here we want to commit. So send the final request that we want to reassemble the file. Do I use this word correctly? Let's put it into Google and see if I spelled it correctly. Yep, good. Okay, so this is it. Can remove this one. Now, what's this? Yeah, we are waiting for the task to finish and then returning stuff. So we need to wait until the task finishes. And to be explicit, do I have a typo here? What's wrong here? We need to wait until the task finishes. Looks good to me. Oh, it was the trailing space. Okay. So to be completely explicit here, let's say this is the disadvantage compared to standard uploads, right? So this is the reason we don't want to use chunk uploads for everything and want to actually figure out the file size before starting the upload. And if it's a large file, then use the chunked upload. If not, then if it's a small file, then use the standard one, because we don't have to wait until the task finishes on the Pulp side. Okay, so this is good. Should raise an exception here. Are we sure about that? Or do we want to just return something? Do functions here raise errors? I mean, they probably are, because 400 error, for example, is in our save request API should raise an exception, I think. So let's just raise, I don't know, runtime exception, runtime error, failed to upload chunked, failed to upload chunked, some file name is good. Failed to upload chunked. Now here we don't want to use the %s because it's not a log line, it's an exception or a normal string basically, so we need to use format and path. So this is probably good enough. Okay, let's take a look what here. What other commands do we have here? So should return an expression or none of them should? So I guess this will be covered by the exception that we did right now. We can take a look after we push the commit. Unused argument labels. Yeah, this one is more complicated. So if we do create content, then we have labels, and we create data like this, and we have data like this, and then we put the data into the post request here. So chunked uploads. Okay, let's take a look if we find some documentation for this. So if we search for label, nothing. Manage labels here is what? Label. It's label set. Updating labels, unsetting labels, labeling a content. Okay, so what if we just cowboy it and try to put the label into the initial request, into the, if it doesn't work, then into the commit request that is at the end somewhere, and if not, then into the chunks itself. I don't know. Let's try this, because I think it's not documented. If we cannot figure anything out, we will need to text Dennis from the Pulp team and ask him to help us out. So how did we test the chunked uploads? Do you remember? Oh yeah, I remember. Because here in storage we used chunked uploads, and we used them for every upload actually. So maybe let's kill the front end, and in the build here, I think this was our reproducer. So maybe let's put a debugger here and run this command. If we get into the debugger, then the reproducer is good enough. My hands are freezing today. I expected so many typos, but we seem to be getting just fine, so good. Okay, we got into the breakpoint. Good. So do we need to test anything in this run, actually? No, let's just continue to see if it finishes before we do any changes. So there are several uploads, because as you can see, this is some source RPM, this is some RPM, previously it was something, probably some other RPM. Okay, so many. Okay, and ultimately it failed. Oh, I remember, we got to this place the last time actually, and we said we finished there and we continued the pull requests later because it was Sunday. Oh, I remember everything now. This is as you can see, in send repeatedly, in modify repository content. So this is out of the actual code that we changed, which was interesting. Anyway, we can live with this and we can try to figure out our labeling issue. So we can remove the breakpoint here. what if we put, how do we do it in the labels, in the create content standard version? So we create data like this, and we have data already here, so we don't want to redefine this, but let's delete everything here, put this here, and do it like this, right? Can this work? Let's try again. Now we don't have a debugger, so it should go through the few uploads and then fail with the modify content error. That would be our OK status. If it fails during the first upload, then the labeling is incorrect. Okay, and this doesn't look good. So this is 400. This is 400 and where? In, yeah, you can see this is the initial. So it cannot be here. Can it be in the final commit request? Let's try. If not, I doubt it could be in the chunks itself. That's stupid. So this is our last attempt. If it doesn't work, then we can probably send another request. That would be just label this. Yeah, we can, yeah. We will, if it doesn't work, but 200s. And this is what? Oh no. So there is a lot of 200s. This is the chunks though. But right after the chunks, the commit, and it's 400. So this is unusable too. That's unfortunate. So I think we should probably put it somewhere here and work from here. I don't want to nest everything under the if. So we will do it differently then. We will even this put here. This will be just pass for a sec, so that we don't mess it up if we don't have to. We will work from here, and if that's something we will continue with, then we will remove the if, or we will reverse the condition to be something else and have just if and then the error, otherwise continue lower. Anyway, so pdb here and run again. So what I'm looking for right now, I think in the response there will probably be the href for the final uploaded file, right? If yes, then we will probably be able to set a label on something, and I would bet we have a function for that. So yeah, see, set label for href, and it's just name of the label, value of the label. So we could use that function if the response contains the href. So pp response is 200, sure. JSON of that. Pulp href. Is this pulp href of the task, or is it pulp href, or yeah, this is pulp href of the task, v3 tasks. But created resources, which is the artifact, and this is href, so this is what we need. So we are interested in created resources, which is a list, and there should always be only one element because we are uploading only one element, but we should probably loop it just to be sure. So what we are going to do is take this and put it here. Oh, no, not this. Why would we put this? We want the command that we used. So we are going to do for href in the created resources and do something about it. Now we can be sure it's okay. The status is okay, and the JSON actually is parsable because otherwise you would fail already here. So we can have this just fine. And I think maybe we can, so we don't parse the JSON multiple times, we can do data equals this, and we can use the data here. So data created resources. Now we will loop over the list of hrefs, which is probably just one href, and we will do self set label on that href with what name and what oh, this is not going to be pretty. This is not going to be pretty, but we are going to do this anyway. And we will put a to-do here, and we will tell the Pulp team that this is a thing they need to improve in their API. We want to specify the labels directly, not as an afterthought, the same way we do it in the standard upload API. So what we are going to do is, I think, key value in labels items, and then we will set the label to be just sure. We will take a breakpoint here. By the way, can we do labels items? Yeah, this will work. Okay, this will work, but just to be sure, let's kill this. Let's run it again. Okay, good, and we should get into the debugger. Nice. So now we should have href. Oh, we are somewhere. Oh, we are just before the loop. So let's jump into the loop. So we should have href, we should have key, which is build ID, and we should have value. Yep, this looks promising. So continue. Yep. We can finish successfully only. Oh. Okay. So. Oh. How did we get so far actually? That's weird. Anyway, set label. So href key value. And let's remove this breakpoint too. I think this is just fine. The set label should probably, yeah, if it doesn't work, it should raise an exception, so we can keep it as is. Maybe let's put this here. Do I like it or not? No, I don't like it. Let's reverse this. So this will be if not response okay, or data not equals completed, then we have the error case, right? So now we successfully uploaded to Pulp, and we should probably do successfully labeled. Let's do the path on our side. It would make more sense to put the href there, but let's put the href there so we can query the Pulp easily. Successfully labeled href with s, and this will be labels, and we will return true. Is it possible? What does this return? By this I mean the standard upload. Create content package. What is package? Package is send, so that's the response probably. Okay. Do we use the response? Yep, we use the response. Okay, good. So still, let's return the response. We can remove this, right? And let's try again. Now, while waiting, we can comment this function, because there was definitely an error about that too. So, oh, maybe there wasn't, because it's underscore function, but meaning private function. But let's document it anyway. So generate, because it yields, it's a generator, generate chunks of a given file. Yep. And the size is clear here, but we will change the size. Where did we get to? So set label. So the labeling failed actually? How so? Weird. Do we have our helper pulp script here? We should have. So copper, maybe pulp query, yeah. And we can query href. So give us the href. Oh, I already see it. It's the pulp situation again. But when we are doing this, let's do this. Yep, you can see it's successfully created. There was only the problem with the pulp/pulp here. Why did this happen? So href, for href, we set label. What does set label do exactly? Uses the href. For some weird reason, the href starts with pulp here, but probably doesn't in other cases, because do we use this grep set label? Needs to be here, so it's used in, yeah, for example, copper pulp JSON to labels. Yeah, this was for example something that we used for a migration, a pulp JSON, and we did set label on a resource. And what was the resource? Check it out. Check this out. We had a resource. It even started with the pulp prefix, right? Because if not, we continued. So it even started with the pulp prefix, and then we just set the label on that, and it worked. We do similar stuff in our pulp.py. So I don't understand why this doesn't work, but I think it's not worth maybe investigating. So what we are going to do here is the same hack that we did here. We had the href, and we will have an URL which is pulp-based URL plus the href, and we are going to be over with this. We will put the URL here, and that should be it. It's weird that we had to do this, but it's not that bad. Should we put maybe a space here and remove the space here? Ah, exactly. Well, this is, or maybe like this. This is yeah. This is probably better. Okay. So seems like maybe our today's session is going to be just the chunked uploads again. It's fine by me. It's actually a fun task to work on. So we have a problem with our set labels again. Why this doesn't work? It's an artifact. We cannot set labels on artifacts. If we take a look at the migration script again, yeah, we were putting it on contents actually. On content, so not artifact. Do we have to manually create a content from that? And that would explain probably the traceback that we are getting when trying to put this into the repository. So this must return probably some URL that is not an artifact but a content. Okay, so let's take a look at this API. Okay. So let's take a look. Create a package. So request body schema. This can be an artifact. So we can create a package out of an artifact. Okay. Okay, so we will probably have to do that then. Okay, so maybe let's take a look if we do something about contents here in our pulp .py. Maybe we already implement something like this. So content. So this is modify repository. Modify repository content. So this, no, this is irrelevant. Add content. Maybe this. Repository and artifacts. Batched, add, remove. Get content. So I don't know. I think this add content actually adds a yeah, I think we need I think this is not artifacts, but this is actually the content hrefs, but I'm not sure about that. What require? Okay, this is the. See, its repository is modified. This is something else. This is get content. What next? Okay, I think we create content. Yeah. So I think we need to implement this. So successful labeled. Okay, this was just too soon actually. So let's comment this out and let's use this href though. This is the artifact href. So with this we need to send a request to this API endpoint, and let's copy the code from here. So this is the, no, we don't want to upload actually. Strange. Either way, let's borrow this. So I don't have to write it. We will change it. So return package we can get rid of. So API v3 content, RPM packages. We only remove the upload section, upload part. We don't want to open a file because we want to supply the artifact. Now we are going to label here, right? That solves maybe two of our issues. So I just probably misunderstood what exactly the chunked uploads do. I didn't realize it doesn't create the content. I forgot that there is a distinction between artifact and content. So for this data, we want this. Now pulp create content. Why do we log this before? Yeah, we wanted I remember Pavel wanted the logs before the requests. So if the requests failed, raise an exception that we have the log line. So we can have this. So this is pulp create content, URI and path. Path is incorrect. href. This is going to be our. Maybe let's do artifact instead of href, so it is clear that we are creating the content from the artifacts. And yep, we can use the artifact from here, and this will be the artifact like this. This should work. Now package. Now I think we should probably do it differently, but I will do it later. Let's do it like this, and this will be a response, and we don't send any files now, and maybe let's put a log line here, successfully created content out of content for chunked uploaded path like this. Maybe successfully created content for chunked uploaded path. You can see this is over 80 characters, but I would keep this. It's probably better than wrapping it. So let's use this and let's try to run it again. Now with the best luck, it shouldn't trace back even for the strange reason it traced back before when creating the content, when creating the repository, because now we are returning a response for a content, not a response for an artifact. Fingers crossed, but with our luck maybe it will bomb out absolutely at the first. Okay, looks reasonable. What now? Oh, so modify. Where? Modify repository. Okay, so it didn't resolve our original issue with the repository content. That's too bad, but we got through our labeling issue probably. So there should probably be some pulp crate content. Yeah, we should probably put crate content for artifact. That would be a better error message. Either way, successfully created content for chunked uploaded this. Okay, good. Upper to pulp. This is the artifact. I actually would like to see the content. Can we maybe log this? So the response should probably have the let's put debugger here. Also, while doing this, since we are returning just one response, and we will return just one response because we are uploading just, we need to basically do the same as here. We are returning one response here, we need to return one response here, and it doesn't even make sense to return multiple responses or something like that. So let's not do the loop here, and let's check if the length of this is not equal 1, then let's bomb out race runtime error what? So unexpected number of created files, and put the files there. So let's maybe create a variable for that so we don't repeat ourselves too much. So resources equals like this, resources, and we will also use the resources here. So resources equals this. If we have a different number than 1, then we bomb out, and then we can just work with the resources 0. Then we can work with just the one resource. Same here, resources 0. I think this is good. Breakpoint, we put this here intentionally because we wanted to work on our message here. So yeah, we will examine what's inside of the response. So response JSON, and that's the reason why. Okay, we are getting to it. So the problem is, I thought we are returning a response with a content information, but we are not. We produced the task and we need to wait until the task finishes. So same as here, we need to basically wait for finished task. So if we do this, and maybe let's do foo so we can use the old variable. So what's inside our foo JSON? PP it. So strangely enough, this is just another artifact. I'm getting sad. I'm getting really sad. So what happens if we return no? What if we Control Z this and use this href and we try to query it like this? Oh, and we forgot the --href. It works. It works. why don't we see any labels? It's because it's because it's the artifact versus content problem again, or is it because the query script doesn't show labels? It should show labels for query build. Okay. Labels, where we have labels. Okay, we don't have labels. Okay, so okay, I could query by build ID, but there will be too many responses, so it would be hard to figure out if it's right or not. So let's assume we set it. Let's kill this. And we have now the weighted response. And we will return the weighted response. And let's try again. Incorrect command. And if it works, then we could just submit a new build properly through the web interface, and then we can query the results for this build, and we should have we should see the labels there. But let's see how this goes. I think I've seen error. Fucking hell. So, okay, we will do an experiment. We will put a breakpoint inside of just about here. And we'll flip this to true. So now we don't use the chunked upload at all, we use the normal upload. And we will see what exactly it returns. Okay, pp. It's package here. So, okay, so this is an actual package, yeah? I mean, it has an artifact URL, but it's href somewhere. Pulp href here is a content. We want this. We want exactly this. So what are we doing wrong? So is there /upload? So yeah, this is upload package synchronously. Okay, this could be created from artifact 2. So maybe kill everything. So we don't need this breakpoint anymore. We want to flip this again to false, so that we use the batched upload, chunked upload, sorry, not batched. And maybe we want to switch the API to synchronous API and run again. We have the we don't have the breakpoint here anymore, so let's open this. Okay. Gimme. Internal server error. What? So pulp labels are supported here. Artifact pulp labels. And we use the data and send it to Yuri. Is it post? It is post. So we are getting this 500 from Pulp, and I have no clue how to take a look at the Pulp logs. We can maybe figure out. So let's jump here. Where are we? Yep. So if we do docker compose ps, we have the pulp container. So exec it pulp bash, and this should have some logs. So, or maybe I think they do it differently. I think we can do just docker compose logs follow for pulp. Non-type. Okay, so it seems we have hit an error. Now, what if we only have an old container and they fixed it in between? So docker compose build pulp yeah, we cannot do that because we don't build it, I think. Compose YAML, and we search for pulp. It's just a latest image. How do we update something? Up help. Pull. Okay, so if we do pull always, docker compose up, pull always for pulp. Okay, we'll build a new pulp. We'll fetch a new pulp container. Fetch a new pulp image, and then run a container from that. And we will see if there is still 500 or not. If yes, we'll probably need to report this to Dennis, because it's it was clearly a traceback in the pulp code. Okay. I did up without D, right? I have no idea what things this is going to do. Okay. Okay, this looks... Okay, it takes some time to start the container clearly, but I think... Okay. I think we are getting the traceback again. But maybe it tracebacked because the... it was an old action, old task, so maybe Let's try to run this again if we fail with the same issue. So, by the way, we definitely don't need this anymore, and I think we don't need to wait for the task because we now use the synchronous API and we are still getting tracebacks. Okay, let's kill this. Let's kill this now. I would like to write Dennis right now, but we should probably finish the video together. What other feedback do we have? Yep, we fixed this. So if false, of course, this will be a condition to check the file size, but we are still working on the code, so I mean, we can probably write it and comment it out. So this in the future will be if OS what was it? Size. OS path. Oh. Get size on this file is larger than. Now the size is probably in bytes, right? I don't have the documentation here. Size of file, sure, but in what unit? In bytes. Okay, so if it's in bytes, then the let's do the size. No. Basically, you want like the cutoff should be like 500 megabytes, but we timeout it at 100 megabytes already. So we are talking about like limit at 80 megabytes probably. 70 even to be sure, but let's do 80. Now megabytes, so times 1024, which is kilobytes, times 1024, which is megabytes. So if this is larger than, let's do smaller. So if it's less, then we use the first one, right? So there will be this. So we'll comment this out and do if true, and let's put to do here, right? So this is good enough until we finish the testing. So what Pavel says actually, so he's not sure about we're gonna keep chunks in the memory as short period of time as possible. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm not sure why I wrote it this way. So chunks. So we did this and then loop in the chunks. Pavel is suggesting to maybe feel free to yield the ID and chunk pairs. We don't need to do that because the enumerate is also a generator, so it's fine to do just this. This should be good enough. Did we use the chunks variable anywhere? We didn't. Okay. Okay. It was just in. Yeah. I don't know why it happened. Ignored response output. So response here. I mean, it's not ignored, right? Because yeah, it's ignored. Yeah, yeah, because we define the variable but don't use it. Is it reasonable to have sent but don't return it? Every time we returned it. Okay. Okay, for example, create content. There is this response and the response, okay, there is this check. So, okay, so maybe let's add the check there just to be completely sure. So response, if response no, okay. If not response okay, then we will raise an exception. Runtime error. We should probably define some custom exception like pulp error or something like that, but runtime error is good for now. Runtime error what? Failed to upload chunk. And do we have upload chunk number of a path and the reason? So like this, okay. So once we format this, it will be failed to upload chunk number of a file which is path because of a reason which is response. Reason? I think so. Okay. Good enough? Maybe? Hopefully? What's this? Format? Oh yeah, this is, of course, this is not a logging, this is an error message in exception, which means standard string formatting. Okay. What next? Please inline comment what happens. Yeah, we did that right at the very beginning, I think. But we did just upload the chunks. So do we need to also to figure out the file size, the chunk size? Did I remove the size accidentally? Yeah, I removed the size accidentally, sorry. Please inline comment what happens. So what happens? We go for every chunk, we figure out the start and end byte of that chunk. So figure out the start and end byte of the chunk within the whole file. Start and byte of the chunk within the whole file. What next? Sure, files. So can we maybe do something like this? Is it more readable? So files is a tuple of file name, value, and type. So file name content from bytes that we already have in the memory. So can we put it direct like here? File name, content from the chunks that we already have in the, and what's this? Can we do something like this? I think it's reasonable. So just to be sure, is a generic from generic MIME type used for unknown binary files. Generic MIME type for binary files. I think this is reasonable. Yeah, we are sending the response here. We can probably wrap this so that it's not over 80 characters. This is good enough. Trailing comma here. And check the response. I think this looks reasonable, right? If not, if response not okay, then we failed. And we update the SHA. So we could have a separate function that would calculate the SHA and then compare the SHA. But we would need to iterate over the chunks twice. Is it worth it? I think not. It will definitely be prettier, but it will be slower. And since we are talking big files here, I think we should probably keep it as is. So yeah, we did that. Until task finishes, resources, artifact. Okay, this is, I'm not sure if this is correct or not, so we will keep it like this. Now Pavel is confused because is Pulp responsible for verifying the SHA? If so, we shouldn't calculate the SHA per chunk, but only for the original complete file and let Pulp confirm we haven't made any mistake. I mean, that's exactly what I talked about in the last video. I expected to call the SHA function on the file itself and not deal with chunks. SHA, where do we hashlib SHA? But take a look at this, right? So SHA okay, they call it on the okay, so maybe we can do so? Can we do so? So okay, let's take a look at this. Can we show me again hashlib SHA here, real world example. They do it with chunks. And I've seen more examples like that with the so I think we can do just like hashlib SHA and put, instead of this, maybe put basically file pointer dot read and calculate the digest from that. But since we are talking large files again, I think we need to do it in chunks. I will discuss this with Pavel afterward and figure out something that we agree on. I think unfortunately we cannot finish this. I need to talk to Pulp about the SHA, and I need to talk with Dennis about the traceback in the Pulp code, and only then we can finish this. But we have made a good progress here. I kind of hoped we could go through multiple pull requests today and figure out the image builder pull request and so on. But we have put a good dent into this one, and this one is really important. So I think I'm happy about that. All right, thank you very much for watching. If there is something you would like to, work on together in a next video, let me know, and maybe we can take a look at it. All right, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.